Hi everyone, Emma here. I'm so excited to show you. This is another process video, and what I'm hoping to create is a bracelet using these lovely petal beads. And I got the idea from the John Bead website, and I'll put the link in the description. This is a design that Preciosa put out. And the I don't have anything here to show you what it looks like, but I'll put the link directly to that design idea. But the idea is to take the large pips is what they use in the design. Now I didn't have any of the large pips. I just had these tiny ones, and let me see if I have a measurement for these guys. If you're like me, you probably have a bunch of these. Those were petals, like these, but don't have an idea of what to do with them. And they're so incredible. It's definitely worth trying to figure something out. So I was hoping to do that for you. So I started out with this design. Here's the other thing is, there are some designs out there that involve kumihimo, so you can weave your pips on using kumihimo. But if you don't know how to do kumihimo, then that's, a struggle. And you need a lot of these beads, and that's kind of my thing is, maybe you've ordered 2 sets of the beads. I think definitely it would be nice if you could do something with the 1 set. But I always order 2 just to be sure I'm going to have enough to make a bracelet. Yeah, so the idea on the video, in the design that they had was, now I'm using petals again. The design idea uses large pips. And the reason I say that, the pips have a hole. Let me grab one here. Oh, I do have one with the size on it. Let me just grab this. So as you can see, there's so much stuff on my desk when I'm doing a design. Here's one of the design fails, I think. But you know what? I save all my designs because I think sometimes you step away from something and you reflect for a bit, or even you don't even think about it, and it will sometimes come to you in a different way that would work. And that happens to me a lot, actually. So this was another design. I thought something like a herringbone stitch, and then I wanted to do, say, 2 for 5, and then the next row do 3 and 5 and stagger it that way and see what it would look like. But I found that, attaching it like that, just there wasn't enough structure. I'd have to maybe weave through. So that's that one, and it's really tangled on my cords here. That's the problem with this. If you leave your threads on to work later, it ends up tangling everything. So these ones, 5 by 7 is the size. And I think the other ones, I can't remember what the size is, but it's definitely larger than 5 by 7. So this is a strand of 5 by 7. They're so beautiful. So we got to come up with some ideas. So let me grab that initial piece that I showed you, this one here. So what I did was, in their design, what they do is they create a whole bunch of 3 petal units. Now I've done it this way because these are petals. So the holes are in the middle of the one corner of the petal. You can kind of see it here. So with the pips, the holes are on the sides. So they're a little easier to put together. But anyway, I came up with that. I thought, let me just try it with what I have. So I only created one because I felt like there should be an easier way to attach these all together without doing individual units. but you know, I may end up still doing it this way to see if I can get the design idea that I want. And the other part to this is when you attach these on through that middle piece down the middle, say with a piece of wire, like a beading wire. So you would attach it like that and then attach all of them together that way. They're going to like spin around. So you're not going to get what you want is the next set for the petal to be here, here, and here to create like a flower effect. But you know, I've made a few examples. So I did come up with this example here. So this idea was to put the wire on first, put all the beads on, and then weave sets of 3 in there. And this is what I got. Like it just has one flat side. This part here looks great, but you can see how they start to stack instead of staggering. So I'm still not finished with this idea. And here's the other thing. This is one whole strand, pretty much. And you would have to have a Barbie wrist for that. So I put that one aside. This one, actually, this one would probably work. You still need a whole bunch. And this is not, the other problem I have with some of these designs is you can do crochet bead weaving. And you know what? I'm a knitter. I've never learned how to crochet. I did start to learn, but I'm finding now as I try to learn to do the bead crochet, I just can't figure out where to put the next bead and stuff like that. So I was like, no, I'm just gonna stick with what I know. So I did manage to create this shape of the staggered pips. But again, that's a lot of beads. That's about a strand of beads. So you would need a lot to create this. And then it would sit quite high on your wrist. So I feel like there should be a way that we can do this so one side is flat and then have that flower effect on the other side. So it's a work in process. I did come up with an idea, and what I thought I'd do is create a earring first and see if my idea works. So the idea would be that I would start out, let me just flip this one here so you can see. Start out with a crystal, just like a rondelle crystal, a couple of beads. Then I add 3 of these petal beads, then another seed bead. Sorry, strike that, go back. Add the crystal, add 3 seed beads, add 1 petal. Then go 1 seed bead, add 1 petal. 1 seed bead, add 1 petal. Add another crystal, couple of seed beads, go through, this is an earring post. Go through the loop, come back down. On the way down, add another petal. Go through that seed bead, add another petal, and do that a few times. I think I did it 4 times to get the flower effect. So if you think about this for a bracelet, then this would sit this way, and you could do like sections of a flower on your bracelet. So I think this would actually work, and I think it would be lovely. So the idea was to start with the earring just to get the, make sure it creates this flowery effect, petal effect. So let's take a look, and I'll show you how to make this earring to start with. So we'll try and get rid of, move some of these things over. So I need one of these for the top, and we have some of these 11O seed beads that are gold lined, which I use the dark rondelle for the base. And there's my petals. I'm going to use a stop bead And let's get some thread. I think I have a piece. So I started out with a wingspan, and it it didn't quite use the whole half of that wingspan. I'm going to use the other side of that. So pick up your stop bead, and you want to leave a nice tail, about 5 inches maybe. Come back through your stop bead like that. And I might just tilt this down away from those beads so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so we'll start with the darker crystal rondelle. Put that on there. Move some of these things out of the way, like that. Then the next thing is I put 3 seed beads because I wanted the petals to fall down, dangle down. So pick up 3 11-0 seed beads. Now we're going to add our petals. So what I did was I set my petals out. When you're going up, so these petals have a concave side and a convex side. So I want the petals to come down like this so that the kind of the folded side comes down and the rounded side is out. So that's going to change when because you're going to come back down. So just remember, so I just put out little sets of 4, and I have them in the correct orientation. And if you don't understand, let me see if I have a darker petal to show you what that looks like. Because these pink, I was surprised at how light these pinks were. So you see this is, you probably wouldn't notice it on this bracelet, but if you look at this side, say that side here, it's up a bit and then it comes down. So okay, so let's get our first petal and just poke your bead through that, and then pick up 1 bead. I have to think about this because I put out 4 beads. I think I put 4 in each set, but I only did 3 from top to bottom. So there's 1. You can see there's the bead. It's here. This is the first one. This is the second one and the third. So yeah. So we'll do this 3 times. There's the third. Find the hole. That's, I've got it. Did I put these on backwards? I think I did. No, it's just because I picked this up. I should have left. I think I did put them on backwards. Let me see here. Yeah, so they're flipped up, these. So let's go back. So since we're coming from the bottom, we should be poking those petals from the bottom side. Like this. Pick up a bead and a petal, a bead, and a petal, like that. And at the top, so at the top I wanted this bead to be kind of like the middle of the flower, so I didn't want to add any seed beads, so we're just going to add that one on. We did add 2 of these 11-0s, and we're going to use this to attach to the earring post. So this is what we have so far. That's our first set. Let me double check today. Yeah, it's 3 there. Just look like a lot. So grab your earring, put it through the metal loop. Now you can put a jump ring or a wire guardian, whatever you prefer to use for your earrings. I don't particularly like wire guardians. I find they take away from the kind of prettiness of the earring. Let me enlarge this a bit. So now we're going to go back down through these beads. You don't have to worry, this is just one strand of thread coming through here. Once we go through and add 4 times the petals, so 3 more times, you'll have gone through this loop that many times, so it'll secure it nicely. So I'm going to go through the 11 O's and through the crystal rondelle. Let's make sure this is nicely in focus. Okay, and I'm holding on to that thread because this is still loose. Don't worry if it does get loose. It is a bit, wonky to hang on to. Once you get done, you can take your stop bead and actually push everything up and it will secure it tighter. But you might not want it tight. You might want it a little flippy floppy. So now we're going down. Now we're going to go through the top of the petal. So let me put some out here. So I'll go through the petal. And now we don't have to add the 11O. It's already there. So we're going to go through that same 11O. And it's a little bit finicky to get in there to start with. There we go. Okay, pull that through. And just be careful that your petal does not get hooked around another petal lower down. So now we're going to add the next one. That. And I'm going to hang on to that thread. So now we've got our 2 here. We're going to add our next one to here. So we're going to go through this seed bead here. So how this translates into the bracelet is we're going to do the exact same thing, only we're going to do this as many times as we need to get the length of the bracelet. Now you can always, if you don't want a whole bunch of petals around your wrist here, we can add just some nice crystals, whatever beads you want. So let's get that one. Yeah. This is the last one here. So now we're going to go through all of these beads. Oh, you know what? I didn't put a, you need a seed bead on the bottom to secure. So we can add that now. This is what we have so far. And I just used one of these because these really kind of match so you don't see it as much. So now we're going to go back up through the rondelle and the 3 11Os. And that's going to pull everything tight. And you can see there's a bit of space on that stop bead. I'm just going to leave it. It'll make it easier to get through everything, but then we can tighten it as we go. So now we're coming from the bottom. So you want your kind of I can never remember convex and concave, but the rounded side down of your petal. So grab that and move these guys aside so you can see which bead it is. We're going to go through this bead that's in between the sets of petals, like that. Grab the next one. So we're coming out of this bead, we're going to go into the next one. There. And that's my tail that's in there. There we go. And the last one for this round, we're going to go up through the crystal, the rondelle, up through the two 11-0s. I'm just going to put my finger there. Again, the thread's in the way. Pull that through like that. So this is what it looks like with 3 sets. It definitely needs another set. So now we're going to go through the loop on the earring. And then we're going to go back down through the two 11-0s and through the rondelle. Let's just get this guy thread. There. Now we're going to take 3 more. And there we go. Pick up the first one. Go through the 11-0. Pick up the next one. Go through the next 11-0. So you can see your thread is coming out of this 11-0. We want to go through the next one. Down. That. Just twist it a bit. There we go. One more. Okay. So your thread is coming out of this bead here. We just look underneath. We're going to go through these 3. Go through the rondelle. The bead's in the way. And so see how the thread's coming over? That could potentially hook onto that petal, so you want to make sure they're not hooked anywhere. Go through the 11-0 bead. Now I'm going to create some knots to secure all that. So let me go through the crystal. There we go. That. I'm going to take my needle and just put it across the back to create a thread bridge. So just let me move that thread out of the way. Like this. So I'm going to just secure that. Then I'm going to take and wrap my thread around twice the needle, like that, and bring it right against the thread there. Then you can just hang on to it and make sure your thread doesn't tangle on anything else. Just take it slow, pull it tight like that, and then go up. Find your next spot where you'd like to put your knot. I would definitely put 2 for each strand. Mainly because we're doing a I'm going to go through everything, I think. We're doing like a single strand through like one area, so if you put a knot there, it might slide down that strand. So just bring these all through like that. And I'm going to go and put one here. And this will also bring all those strands together. So let's take our thread and let me see here. I may not have gone, yeah, I didn't go through all the beads. So let's go through here. There, you see how that kind of pushed it in, brought it together. And let's get one more knot here. One and two, like that. Put your finger there so it doesn't jump. And let's get this thing out of there. There we go. And back through. That, I think I'm gonna bring it down and do one more knot. Not really necessary, but I don't like to end it here because definitely you're going to get movement from your earring, and I don't want my tail thread to come out and be visible. So let's put our last knot here. 1, 2, and pull it through. Now go down tight, and I'm going to use my thread burner. Just be careful you don't cut any other threads. Like, don't do that. These earrings are very kind of flippy floppy. Okay, I'm going to use my needle on my stop bead. So it's looking really lovely. Let's take our stop bead off like that. And so you can see how you would need a bit of thread on the bottom just to get back in there. Okay. So like I said, you can pull it tight at this point and it really gets it rigid. It's up to you. If you want it a little looser, you just pull it down a bit, but I kind of like it like that. So I am going to go through this seed bead here and through my rondelle. I'm going to put a knot at the bottom here as best I can. So 1, 2, and pull that in there. Tighten and bring your thread through those beads. There's a little bit of maneuvering here. Wowzer. Let's see if I can do it this way. Maybe a little too tight. I am using a size 12 needle. You can definitely use a size 10. I started out with a size 10, but let me see if I can just loosen this a bit to get in there. I had it a bit too tight. And go through. I'm going to go through 2 of these beads and then a knot, because this is yeah, it's getting a bit snug in there. There's that knot. Make our next knot. I don't know, I think I'm going to end it there. So let me just bring this through a bit. Like that. There. There. And, oh, there we have it. These are lovely. So stay tuned for the bracelet that goes with these earrings. I wish I had some findings like this for the clasp. That would be amazing. There we go. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that. It's been a while since I've been since January since I made some earrings. This was a lot of fun and a really good way to figure out your pattern. So that's another one of my process things. Take care, everybody. Bye.